Hi, it's Glenn with Action Recycling in Spokane again. Here we have an example of some metal that a customer would bring us. Basically, they'll throw a lot of metal up on the bench here and expect us to do the testing on it and figure out what it's worth. So we're going to go over how we would test this material with you. First, basically, we have a mixture. The first thing I would do is use the high-powered niobium magnet and see if any of the material is slightly magnetic. That one is slightly magnetic. Sometimes material, we found just recently that companies will take a gold ring or a gold piece, actually have it plated with a magnetic metal, and then plate it with gold over the top of it again. So just to double check, anytime you see anything that it is slightly magnetic, I always look over the piece really good with a loupe and make sure that it's not stamped 14 karat or 10 karat or 18 karat. If it is stamped, then it could be just that the material was gold plated with a magnetic metal such as nickel and then plated with gold over the top of that. They do that to make the material last a little bit longer and keep it more shiny. I have looked over this piece with a loupe and there is absolutely no markings indicating that it is gold. So basically I would definitely throw that in the junk pile. So now that we've eliminated the magnetic stuff, we're going to go over the next test, which is using a grinder or a file. I use these Dremel tools, a cheap Dremel from Harbor Freight or something like that. And basically I'm just going to grind through the plating, if there is a plating, on each and every one of these pieces. So you don't have to make a really big grind mark in it. I'm going to, because obviously it shows better on the camera if I do grind it down a little bit further. So now that all the pieces have been filed past any plating that might be on the metal, again, I will use these butyl gloves as per L&I's instructions. And we will get out our small vial of nitric acid, one of these glass bottles, only a few dollars on eBay. They work really good for a single dropper. So basically I'll take every piece of material that we just ground, and you can see the material smoking there, and definitely a greenish blue reaction there. That's a sign that it's a copper based metal. It reacts green or blue with copper, so obviously that one will be eliminated and go in the junk pile. Next we have some kind of gold prong here, and again a greenish blue reaction, which is indicative of copper content. That will also go in the junk category. Next, you see the grind mark there. We'll grab our acid here. And it just looks like water on the material. That's a good sign. Nitric acid has absolutely no reaction with gold. If we can find where we ground this. Take another piece, and again, looks just like water. You can't even hardly see that there's any acid on there. So again, another good sign. See, same thing with this ring. Another small drop of nitric acid. And looks like absolutely no reaction, which is a good sign. Now on the silver, I use the same exact acid. There are acids that you can get that will test the purity of silver, but basically what I'm after is just to make sure that the material is silver. So I take the same 3 to 5% mix of nitric acid, and if you can see, it kind of turns this milky tan color. That's a sign of silver. Even if you take a paper towel and wipe it off, it stays that milky tan color. That's a sign of silver. Another piece of silver here, and we take the same nitric acid and green in color. So even though it's silver on the outside, or appears to be silver, down below that plating, is actually copper-based material. Just for the heck of it. Now see, at first it doesn't react, but then it goes through that plating. So it's probably a silver-plated brass. So we'll throw that in the junk pile as well.